Hi, everyone. My name is Alvin, and thanks for the opportunity to share an overview about the exciting work that happens here at GenY Biologics. Just want to give a shout out and introduction about the GenY team itself. Our co-founders have come together to share their decades of experience in various aspects of their subdomain expertise, such as immunology from Paul, protein and cell manufacturing from XL, and also corporate finance from Kenneth and Hong. We're also guided by two independent advisors, Bill, who used to advise both the French and the US presidents on infectious diseases, and also Jeff, he's overlooking global R&D for Sanofi. Graham has also recently joined us as our CEO, and he used to oversee Southeast Asia operations for Sanofi, although I've been told that Graham and Jeff are not related, despite sharing the same last name. So here at GenY, we are focused on harnessing our understanding of the immune system to develop better diagnostics and therapeutics. We are focusing on two diseases, COVID and dengue. Both of them share a large addressable market and also common unmet needs. For the interest of time, I'm not going to talk about our COVID work today on the stage, but I'm happy to engage you at our booth later this afternoon. And for that, I'm going to focus most of my time here today to talk about our work on dengue, which is the original endemic, so to speak. For those in the audience that are who need a refresher about dengue, well, it's a disease that's spread by mosquitoes. There is no cure currently in itself. And dengue is not a one virus disease itself. It actually has four serotypes of viruses in itself. And here's a snapshot of the arms race for a cure for dengue. And whether we're looking at small molecule antivirals or whether we're looking at vaccines, we are somewhat not close to the end of the tunnel. And also at the same time, dengue is not a one virus type of disease itself. There are four types of it, and they all behave slightly differently clinically. Although there are lab tests for dengue itself, the serological tests for a family medicine context do take about 1 to 2 days to come back with the actual positive result. And while there is a rapid test kit for dengue, it's targeted against a protein that's not just expressed in dengue, but it's also expressed by other viruses itself. So there's a little bit of concerns about that rapid test kit that's in the market. On that note, here at GenY, we have developed our GenY, our point-of-care test kit that works like a rapid test kit in itself, and it provides the results within 10 to 15 minutes. But more importantly, it gives us that specificity, and it tells you within 10 to 15 minutes which type of dengue that you are positive for. But why am I talking so much about the different types of virus, subtypes or serotypes of dengue in itself? It's because on the therapeutic side, we have identified and purified a human monoclonal antibody called 14C10. And in fact, we isolated that from a patient who have recovered from dengue itself. What is amazing about 14C10 is that you are able to see that the virus can be, when you take blood samples and you add dengue virus into it, and if you add just a really small dose of 14C10, we're able to neutralize the virus within 6 hours. And when we do that on a gold standard preclinical animal disease model of dengue, we're able to block the virus and its effects for viremia, for fever, within a day or even 6 hours itself. And more importantly, when mosquitoes pick up the disease and they feed on blood samples, and if those blood samples already have 14C10 in it, we're able to block the transmission of the disease altogether. So what does that mean? Coupled with our GenY point-of-care test kit, I think we are confident to say that in the very near future, if someone is being diagnosed with dengue at lunchtime, all he or she needs is to take one shot of 14C10 for the specific type of dengue treatment, and he or she will be cured by dinner time. I guess most of us here may or may not have encountered dengue up front, and most of us would want to not get dengue again or not suffer the whole lengthy effects of dengue in itself. So with regards to traction, we have actually received, our team has received quite a lot of equity-free funding in terms of grants from major pharma companies and also from the Singapore government in itself. Of course, a lot of things have been delayed due to COVID, but now that we are in a much better position, our team is planning to bring 14C10 into first-in-human trials by the start of next year. But we're not going to wait for 14C10, our therapeutic antibody, to start generating cash flow. We're going to bring our GenY, our point-of-care test kits, to the market very soon. And that will generate different types of revenue. And also at the same time, the dengue virus therapeutic antibody will allow us to have fast-track approval for priority review vouchers. And we have been independently shown that we can get the voucher itself. And it's worth close to $100 million in itself. On that note, thank you very much. I've just run out of time, but happy to engage you at our booth later this afternoon. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan from Pololo, CEO of Pololo. Yeah. Okay, Pololo is a fermentation company which we use upcycling of agriculture leftover, that is fruit and vegetables, to turn them into protein and then to turn them into plant-based meat. So by 2050, or even for Singapore-based 2030, 1/4 of the population will be 60 years old. So which means that there are many people will be having this like chronic disease, illnesses. So that's why we are focusing on healthcare sectors, supplying our alternative protein to them. Okay. We have already done a few of the substrates, that is banana, avocado, palm oil kernel, vegetables like broccoli and cauliflowers, then turn them into protein, and then turn them into plant-based meat proteins. For this one is a prototype that we have molded at ourselves to turn them into modified diets for the healthcare. But of course, we are looking at other mainstream like seafood replacement and meat replacement. And they also produce other byproducts such as lactic acids and probiotics that can be used for other functions. We also have been in contact with CLAD, a Germany sensor company that will be using IoT and AI to be implemented into our processes to speed up our fermentation and also the bioreactor processes. We believe that we will become one of the top, speed up our fermentation, and we will become one of the better technology in our fermentations. As of now, we have achieved 2 LOI. One is from F&B groups, another will be the healthcare groups. Then we also receive, for collaboration with NUS and NTU. And NTU will have used it for our 3D printer, as you can see over there, April 1st, that we use our product, turn them into 3D printer, the sunny side up and scrambled egg, which proven that our products can turn into plant-based products. Then we'll be IP our products in July to August time. One is the processes, the other will be the products. By 2024, we expected the revenue to be 12 million, and 2025 will be 30 million for the food services and F&B, healthcare side. We are the first company in Singapore that's using upcycling of fermentation, using agricultural waste to turn them into food for human consumption in the Southeast Asia and Singapore. As for these are the competitors, but we are the first company that serve our products to the healthcare sectors also. Okay. Myself, I have been DGM in the sets for Singapore and China, setting up central kitchens, frozen products and developments, also specialized in strategy planning. As for my partners, Lily Chen, she's not around today. She has been in 20 years in the private sectors, in the healthcare sectors also, doing microbiologies. These are our partners. Okay, Pololo is actually a Latin word, means sprouting. We produce food without lands. So we believe in doing goods for the nature and return the lands to the mother nature. For us, we position ourselves as a manufacturer for ingredients. We also position ourselves as a caterer for the healthcare side. We also position ourselves to produce plant-based meat products to supply to supermarkets, and other retailers. That's all. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is CK. Today, I'm going to present our end-to-end agriculture marketplace, how it addresses major agriculture industry pain points, and hence the value we create for our platform participants. Firstly, we will cover the digital transformation challenges for the agriculture industry. At the industry level, the key pain points include the reliance on middlemen to assess the market, lack of economies of scale for small quantity suppliers and buyers, hence resulting in unattractive pricing. For e-commerce adoption, the key challenges are due to low digital literacy among farmers and fishermen, the need to support varied pricing mechanisms to cater for different pricing practices within the agriculture industry, for example, using bidding and using negotiated pricing, as opposed to list pricing, which is the common practice in e-commerce. From supply chain perspective, due to the short shelf life of agriculture products, the supply chain management is highly complex and costly. Typically, transportation and distribution costs are not optimized. Furthermore, product traceability is not widely practiced. Other challenges hindering adoption of e-commerce include the need to handle rejects and claims, as well as facilitating the complex cross-border processes. When we look at pricing across the value chain, there are major differences in terms of pricing at the small buyer or retail level compared to farm gate price. So if we were to take an example of an agriculture product in Malaysia, the price differences can range from 40% to 100%. So this presents significant opportunities to disrupt the middleman channel. So in terms of our platform, we provide capabilities to manage the pain points and capture opportunities highlighted earlier. So we cater for suppliers and buyers of small order quantities, as well as the bulk and large quantity players within the agriculture marketplace. Our agriculture marketplace addresses pain points within the industry by providing easy-to-use mobile app for farmers and fishermen to allow them to onboard e-commerce, enabling flexible pricing to cater for different pricing practices, examples of which I've highlighted earlier. Trade facilitation to smoothen fulfillment, payment, cross-border, as well as reject and claims processes. In the supply chain area, we enable small order quantity aggregation and consolidation in order to optimize vehicle load and vehicle size, enabling transportation and distribution optimization. So these capabilities allow us to be a virtual aggregator, network optimizer, thus positioning us to disrupt the middleman channel. And other capabilities include real-time shipment tracking, blockchain-based product traceability, and disruption sensing to allow us to speedily respond to supply chain disruptions. Besides catering for the small players, we also cater for the large commercial players within the industry. We deliver benefits not just to the suppliers, but also buyers. Besides better pricing for small quantity buyers and sellers, other benefits includes better product freshness, better product safety, and reduced product wastage. Currently, our focus is in Klang Valley in Malaysia for the domestic transactions. But pretty soon, we will cover cross-border transactions, so that would include import and also an export. And we will be bringing the solution back soon to Singapore. We started in Malaysia because of reasons of scale. On a side note, we received support from Malaysia's Ministry of Agriculture, so that endorses our platform and shows that our platform is compelling in addressing the industry challenges. I'm going to skip this. Actually, there are significant opportunities within the agriculture industry, and this is the time to capture the market opportunities due to the large market sizes. So with that, I end my presentation. To find out more about our solution, please visit us at our booth at A1. And with that, I thank you for your time and attention.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Peter. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Sonectify. We are an impact computing platform innovating at the intersection of renewable energy and high-density computing. And we are focused on addressing the problem of the 30 megawatt hours of energy that is wasted every minute by the world's energy infrastructure globally. Just to localize that, put that in perspective, that is the amount of energy that it takes to power 1,500 HDB aircon systems for an entire day, every single minute. My background prior to Sonectify, in 2017, I founded a company called Drone Energy in the United States, and we developed and built a infrastructure system targeting essentially waste energy value capture using Bitcoin mining. We essentially built the world's industry's first demand responsive Bitcoin mining system. And following the success of this venture, I wanted to really take this model to the next level, do something that was more impactful and better adapted to the needs of modern energy grids and addressing their pain points. And one of the problems that we have with modern grids is that variable renewable energy is actually one of the problems. It's part of the solution that we all need to combat climate change, but it has some problems associated with it. Particularly the variability of the generation cycle. Renewable energy typically generates surpluses that are difficult to deal with because of the constraints placed on transmission. Transmission infrastructure is very expensive, and there are also efficiency losses transmitting electrons. This is the reason why a solar farm, for example, in West Texas cannot power Singapore at night. All right. On the demand side, we've seen an increase in energy demand across the board, but particularly in compute and specifically in some of the most energy demanding computing applications, which also happen to be some of the most valuable applications that are driving our modern digital economy. This is the computing applications for artificial intelligence, simulation, digital twinning, Web3 technologies. What's interesting about these particular types of computing, though, is that most of them are intermittent. So there's an opportunity to match an intermittent computational workload with intermittent power, and that's where we find our fit. The other interesting thing about data is that unlike electrons, which you can't ship from one side of the planet to the other without efficiency losses, data can be transported. So that's where we come in. We basically take this high-density compute component that was normally located in a hyperscale data center. We take it directly to the source of generation. thus removing that transmission component from the grid. We have solutions for integrating both on-grid and off-grid using a satellite data feed. This is what the solution looks like. It's basically a small modular ISO form factor container that is intermodally shippable and can be dropped in place anywhere opportunity power is present. Our business model is thus to position ourselves as basically an Uber for compute. Just as Uber, when they were starting out, they had their own small fleet of vehicles and used their software platform to source riders for those vehicles. We position our systems, we buy opportunity power, we source the computing workloads to run on that network and sell time on that computing network. The grand vision here is eventually to get to a point where we have a new network for spot computing power that's based on energy price and availability, powered by renewable energy. There are significant carbon reductions that can be obtained through this approach. For example, deploying a single one of our systems is basically equivalent to reducing the emissions that would be equivalent to about 20 Teslas, putting 20 Teslas on the road. We are pretty favorably positioned with respect to other technologies for achieving grid flexibility. We're not really a competing solution, we're complementary. We've secured our first pilot project in Singapore, which will be launching later this year in Jurong Innovation District West. We're powered by an amazing team with a track record. My CTO, Jonathan Kochmer, is ex-Amazon and developed some of the infrastructure that allowed Amazon to scale globally. So we're a team that is focused on solving global problems, and we're winning awards on both energy and compute side. So we're looking for energy partners and business partners and investors to help join us in our journey. This InnoFest, we are donating, my last slide is gone. We are donating $2,000 worth of credits for our platform. There was supposed to be a QR code there. Come by our booth at D5 in the startup area and sign up. If you don't want to use the credits, you can donate them to one of our other platform customers, nonprofits, for example, who are doing climate research on our compute platform. Thank you very much.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay, great. So, thank you very much for the opportunity, and this is Trinity Eco. So, as I'm working in the sustainability sector for 9 years, I realized that about 60% of businesses could not understand how to monetize sustainability very well. Basically, they could not understand how to turn something that is initially a compliant cost to something that can generate revenue for them. And in fact, the major challenges right now in making sustainability more monetizable is data. So having the right kind of data with the right kind of talent to commercialize a sustainability project is a major challenge, both from the investment and from a business side. So our solution is one that allows them to actually build their own sustainability reporting system and to better monetize a lot of the sustainability activities that they have in the company. In a way, we help a lot of the companies to turn something that is initially a risk into something that can create opportunities for them. So our platform basically helps to build custom-made sustainability reporting system that is very simple to build and can create audit-ready documents that can help them provide actionable solutions for their business. The other thing is that we also allow them to actually collaborate with different business partners in the ecosystem and to turn a lot of this carbon emissions activity into carbon offsetting activities. So because of that, we have to transform our business model accordingly. And although we have a SaaS model, but a lot of our clients, from banks to clean tech companies, often ask us for more customization features. So the cost of developing the services that we need for them tend to be much higher than the subscription fee. But we also want them to make and generate revenue from the businesses. So we also have a transactional fee to actually help them to scale their sustainability projects. So the total market as a whole is about 23 trillion, but in the data management sector, it's only about 5 billion, and it's currently at 2.2 billion in terms of traction and demand. So we believe that we can actually scale our business in this sector and actually go globally. So currently right now we have about $10 million in deal size, and we have about 120 free users on our platform. But recently we also talked to a number of clients in the carbon origination space, so we can actually generate at least $56 million worth of carbon credits from those projects. And because of that, we are very focused on traction right now. As I know that we only got 5 minutes for the presentation, so we are trying to keep it more as a business pitch. So some of the things that we are able to achieve is that we recently acquired 2 patents from Nokia to actually improve the data quality of our platform and to provide training for our business. But we also have a club that we actually allows people who want to go into sustainability to actually reach out to sustainability partners in our sector. So do scan the QR code if you want to get involved with our partners. In terms of data, in terms of competitiveness, we recognize that most of our competitors are more focused on data collection and aggregation, but we differentiate ourselves on the fact that we are more focused on monetizing data. So in a way, we end up collaborating with our competitors instead of competing with them. So as for now, although we are looking for funding, but we are dividing it into tranches. If you want to know more information, do come back to us on this at our booth. And what we're looking for right now for this conference is actually for partners to collaborate with us in carbon origination and carbon profiling, and also IoT and sustainability data providers to help us improve the quality of our sustainability reports. So in short is that, sustainability need not be a cost. With us, we turn cost into revenue. Yeah, thank you.